Date is Sunday, December 20th. The Sanford Institution for Savings time is 11:07. The current temperature is 21.
Hello, this is Ann.
Yes, Ann Perry?
Yes.
Wanted to find out if you've checked out to see who does the Federal Review of Child and Family Services in the state of Maine yet.
I really haven't. Sorry. I really haven't. I have been working at my practice, so I haven't had a chance to. I'm sorry to make this so difficult, but it just, I just haven't done it.
Well, I don't you get a copy of this review when they do it?
Well, I'm going to find it.
But you do get
all the papers that I have.
You do get a copy, though, right?
Well, it's a, and actually it might even be online under maine.gov. It's a pretty extensive document. I went to the summary when they had the report out on that. And it's in the Department of Human Services in the federal government.
Uh-huh. But
you don't have access to a computer?
Not unless I go to the library, no.
Okay. Because I was saying you might actually be able to find it within U.S. Government site looking at child welfare, because they would have the department under there.
What?
Well, when I get my computer again, I will do that. And,
it's all DHHS, I'm sure, of which this, I'm sure there's only about 1 million phone numbers and et cetera. But, don't you know the name of the agency and where they are that does it?
No. And I wouldn't unless I was back looking at that. Because, first of all, we've been working with the Annie E. Casey Foundation to improve what we've been doing with child welfare, and I've actually been with a workshop on that part of it.
You went to a workshop with who? Annie E. Casey?
Annie Casey Foundation. They have been working with the department to really improve and get their goals for, getting. The intent is to get children into permanency and with families as much as possible, and that's been the goal piece that they've been working with since the Logan Marr incident.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you went to a workshop on this, wouldn't you tend to know?
Well, it was the Annie E. Casey Foundation who put that on.
Well, wait a minute. You said, is that Ann E. Casey?
Yes.
Okay. Where are they located?
I think they're located all over, but the group that we worked with were located in Portland.
Okay. Do you have a number for them?
No, I don't.
Okay. I just assumed, the chairperson would tend to have this stuff like on speed dial.
No. No. And I am no different than any other legislator at this point. I'm my own secretary, and I'm running 2 different jobs, so it's a lot of my stuff is in Augusta, but also another piece of it is at home, and I do a lot of stuff on the computer, but I don't have any of this stuff on speed dial. It is not something, we work with legislation, we work with policy. Mm-hmm. We don't necessarily work directly with the other agencies that DHHS work with. So that's not information we have at the top of our head.
Because I just called information, and I asked for DHHS in Washington, D.C., and I was given the Inspector General's phone number immediately.
Yeah.
I called them, and after a few phone calls back and forth, I ended up with the Administration of Children and Families in Boston, and I spoke to the director.
Oh, well, good, because that's probably the agency you need to be talking to.
Well, yeah,
I'm sure that's where the review came from too.
I would.
Because most of our oversight is through the Boston office.
Well, see, I would think you would know that, and the fact that you didn't even tell me it was from Boston, kind of makes me wonder if you guys are just not closing ranks or something, because I spoke to Bob Cavanaugh, the director, for about an hour Thursday or Friday, and I already have a copy of it being sent to me this week.
Well, good. They got to the right place.
And he told me immediately that the state failed on multiple fronts. And he also mentioned to me that it was not uncommon that a lot of states do. And so, I'm not pleased with the fact, that if this has been 2 weeks, and I've called at least 3 different people on the committee, and nobody, quote unquote, seems to know who does the review, and it took me an hour to get on the phone and leave a message for the director of the agency that did the review, and 3 o'clock in the afternoon he called me back and we talked.
Well, that's good. You did what you needed to do.
Well, yes, research is my forte, having been to law school and having, been a video stringer and things like this, and done news videos for all 3 local TV stations. And I also notified the Office for Civil Rights, and they thought that was rather significant because they weren't aware that the state failed. Considering what I've seen done by the Department of Health and Human Services, I find all of this to be a serious and significant failure. And let me tell you something. Have you read Memoirs of a Baby Stealer?
No, I haven't.
You should. You should get a copy of it. Mary Callahan is giving them away.
Give me the name and the person to do with that. At this point, it's very unlikely I'm going to read it.
Why is that?
Because I have to have time to do it. And right now, that is not something I